Hello everyone. Am I audible? Can you just confirm someone so that we
Yes,
can get going?
yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So let's wait for 5 more minutes. Let's see if someone else is joining. Uh, let's wait for them. We'll start in 5 minutes. So yeah, let's begin. Let others join. We can just get on started. So hello everyone. Welcome to this course of Power BI Basics to Master course with an added Azure Data Analytics as an add-on. That is the course we are going to cover. So I first would like to welcome and thank everyone who have joined this course. So join this session, and let's begin initially by I just want to understand the audience a little bit. So I want to understand how many of you have come across Power BI. Just raise your hands. I just want to know who have just come across Power BI a little bit, who have been in the Microsoft data ecosystem. Just want to know that. Just raise the hands so I can see one hand, uh, two hands. I can see. Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, we can cover others, no problem. So, is there anyone who, for example, who have come across the Power BI? Have you come across using Power BI a little bit? Just you can speak up. It's okay, right? For example, this is a casual. I would like to keep the courses casual. So, yeah, that would be better.
Yes, hi Tim. This is Manoj here. So I'm using Power BI reporting for a daily day-to-day activities from
Okay,
Microsoft actually.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, nice. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so I would say that some of you have some good experience with Power BI. At least most of them would have heard about the Power BI and Microsoft ecosystem, data related ecosystem. So so how
Hello.
many of you are completely new with Power
Hello.
BI? Just yeah, hi, yeah, hi
Hello.
JP.
Hello.
Yes, yes,
Hello.
JP. I can hear you.
Hello.
Um, yeah, it's okay. So
Hello.
you can see two hands. Um, so who are totally new to the session? You can see three hands. Okay, that's okay. Anyway, I can
Hello.
understand that most of us are here to learn Power BI from
Hello.
basic to master. So that will be a good user who, like for example, who have come here. That will be a correct spot you have come. So just to introduce myself, I am Siddharth. So I have been in the field of data analytics and engineering close to 10 plus to 11 years. So I have worked with multiple business clients in the fields like fast food chains, and I have worked with fuel and energy sectors. And also, the recent industry I had been working with was the healthcare and pharmacy and insurance related sector. So coming to what areas I have got to cover in all these years is I started work with an SAP ecosystem. Basically, I had knowledge about SAP BI reporting and visualization tools. So I had a pretty good amount of time with the SAP Analytics Cloud and related ecosystems. Then I got a very good amount of time to spend with Microsoft and Azure data and BI systems, which mostly covered visualizations and making transforming data from very raw, let's say, very raw data into powerful visualizations, which were used by multiple departments of different industries of business. So that's about me. So about Power BI, I would say Power BI is one of my favorite BI tools which I have used till now. Since Power BI is a little bit user friendly, I would say it can be installed and used by most of the people, unlike the other ecosystems such as SAC and SAP Analytics Cloud, as well as Tableau and other related BI ecosystems. So Power BI, I personally like it that way. So why Power BI? That is one of the points I'd like to give you is like it is easy to embed and share the reports that you create in Microsoft services, such as, for example, that is one of the use cases I like most like about Power BI. It's like it's easy to integrate this Power BI services, reports, visualizations, and everything into Microsoft services such as Teams. Then there is PowerPoint presentations and other Power platforms. So it's very seamless to integrate Power BI, and it's very easy to use as well. So that's about Power BI in a little bit of a walkthrough. So, if you want to understand a little bit about what Microsoft has to say about Power BI, let me share my screen just to give you an intro. Okay, so please let me know if my screen is visible. Okay, when it's visible, just a moment. So yeah, if anyone can confirm, we can move forward.
Yep,
My screen
it's
visible?
Yeah,
visible.
it's visible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. So this is the Power BI's page for Microsoft. So they have created this page just to give an intro about Power BI. So uh, I would like you to go through most of these things because this is like self-explanatory. Most of the use cases of Power BI and other things. So I would like you to see this one section called Why Power BI. I just wanted to give you that intro. So as I said, it's very seamless to integrate to other lot of applications, and it has a little bit no restriction on amount of data that you push into it. The amount of data you can transform into meaningful visualizations is very much high. So I like Power BI that way. So Power BI is very good in that area. And also you can say that Power BI connects to different data sources from multiple data sources. It can be cloud data source, on premise, it doesn't matter. You have a connector, you will have a connector to one of those sources. So Power BI can connect to multiple data sources. So coming to a brief intro to the course, um, let me share the course structure with you just a moment. Yeah, so I hope my screen is again visible. Just a moment. So this is our course structure. Just want to talk about the course structure a little bit in detail so that there will be no shockers in between about what we are going to learn and what we are going to cover in this course. So talking about in a broad way, we will be covering the introduction to a Power BI. So basically, Power BI desktop is the version that Power BI that we are going to cover. So for Power BI, one of the most important features that you can talk about is like Power BI desktop is a totally free and sign-in free application. So you don't need not have a Microsoft account or any account as for that matter. If you have a PC, you have a Microsoft Office installed or any old or new Microsoft Office installed, Power BI is ready to be used. You can just download it and install. Some basic installation and configurations are required. That's it. So we'll be learning about those configurations, basics of Power BI desktop, some high level workflow of Power BI. So how the data that we have is taken into from multiple sources, obviously. From it can be some text document, it can be multiple flat files, it can be on-premise databases or cloud databases or Azure platforms. It can be anything. So uh, there are multiple connectors. So how we'll get that data from that, what we do to that data, how we transform it into meaningful, which is not the data what we get usually is very what to say, unusable. We cannot directly use it in any form of visualization. So we need to transform that data into very much useful, let's say, set of data. Let's say I would say uh, very useful set of data into, so that data alone can be used for visualization. So for that we'll be seeing how to, let's say, merge and connect different data. Let's say for example ETL raw data, how that transformation and loading of that raw data happens, then connecting to multiple data sources, transforming and shaping those tables. So that is that we'll cover in one of those things. So then building data models is one of another important feature that we'll cover in this course. So data models are the ones that, let's say, give the chain, let's say for example, to that necklace, uh, which is just beads around. So these beads are like tables, and these connection that we create are the thread that connects the tables. So these connections are what creates that meaningful, let's say, real life connections to those tables, those readings, those data, I would say. So those connections will see how that data, those data models are created. So such a model will create, will we'll see about basic functional, basic, let's say, details such as cardinality, normalization, primary foreign keys, filter flows, and all. So those things we'll cover. Then we'll have a very important section on the data analysis expressions. That's very important. So DAX is a tool which allows you to, let's say, get some meaningful insights from those transformed data. For example, before the visualization happens, I need to get some meaningful uh, sub data, I would say, from that collection of tables and data. That creation of such, let's say, uh, values are called, are done with basic DAX. Basic to a little bit. DAX has a lot of applications, obviously. So mostly such that collection group of data from that, let's say, chunk of data is called, we generally make that using calculated columns and measures. So calculated columns and measures, we learn in detail how it affects and how we can use those to create meaningful data, let's say, for creating those visualizations. So we'll be learning DAX in a little bit of a detail. So DAX is a very important part of this course. So as you can see, we'll be covering, let's say, in DAX, all these let's say, basic transformations such as some functions we'll be seeing, what basic functions and other things. Then data profiling tools are there. Data profiling tools are like, let's say, whatever data we have transformed, we need to know whether those data are, I mean, before validation, before transforming the data, we get the data, and that data, for example, a column in simple terms, a column, if the values are correct, if I apply a data type, if it's validated correctly, that validation is provided by data profiling tools in Power BI. Basically, the Power Query editor is the one that helps with all the table transformations that happen. For example, the data that we import, and all those basic transformations happen in Power Query. So most of them, if some people have used Excel with macros, I think you might be familiar with Power Query. So that is a very good pro in this part of the course. So getting the data and transforming it into basic tabular structures and other things. So coming, yeah, that's an important part we'll be covering. So again, yeah, coming to DAX, uh, we'll be seeing all these functions, how to uh, create index and conditional columns, text, numerical, date and time transformation tools, then multiple files we append using into a folder. So how we can do that? For example, in a folder we create some files. Those files we can take into Power BI, and those tables will be used to append those tables one by one, in one below the other. So just you have to go and put a new file into that, that will be appended automatically to that table. So such things are there. So how we'll see all those things happen, so in real time. So that is about a little bit about DAX. So DAX we'll be covering in a little bit of detail, as I mentioned. Then the main important part comes, as I mentioned, data modeling. I had already mentioned, that comes after the DAX, because let's say real, let's say uh, model is the, as I mentioned, is the connection between those tables. Only after those connections are made, we can transform this connected data into meaningful values that I can use, right? So that is what we'll be covering after the modeling. So that is the DAX basically. So yeah, coming to all these functions I had already mentioned, most of the things we'll be seeing in DAX, right? So for the next part is the most interesting part, which we are already here for learning that. So data visualizations is what we are here to do. So how we can make those, let's say, data that we had transformed, and using DAX and Power Query editors, how we can make those into meaningful visualizations which are present in our Power BI either, or some of them we can install with the app store of Power BI. So basic data communication planning, uh, basically, for visualizations to happen, we need to understand who is the end user and how that end user will want the data to be visualized. So such planning and things we'll be seeing in a little bit of a detail. Then all these basic obviously is there, the basic visual charts, line charts, top end text cards, map visuals, all these things we'll be seeing in detail, because if I start speaking about those visualizations, it will take another 1 hour of my course. So those we'll be covering. Another thing is, important thing we have to see here is, like, we'll be seeing about drilling up, drilling down, and drill through filters. So that is an important thing, which most, as you can see, most of the reports which we see will have that functionality of, let's say, drilling into the data. For example, from if I speak about hierarchical data, such as time, let's say, for example, it can be in days, hours, so that we can drill through to those things. So those functionality we can see, that's a very important feature which will be used in visualizations, because visualizations become interactive with the use of these tools, such as drilling up, drilling down, and other things. So also bookmarks is an important feature that we'll be seeing. How it's a very interesting feature. You'll when you come to that, you'll be understanding how bookmarks can be used. Then obviously after that we'll be covering a little bit about roles in Power BI. So basically, if you are in an organization and you work with multiple members of a data analysis team, so you need to have access to, you need to have control, or you or the person who is having the report created has to have control over who has control on the data, who can see what. So that control we'll be seeing about a little bit in not in detail, because roles basically are created in Power BI desktop, that is there, but they are not visible until you share it to online service, Power BI service. So roles and let's say Power BI service also, I'll say, will be covered in a little bit of a not a very detailed manner. I'll be just showing you how this publishing happens, how these reports are shared. Let's say how I can let's say show you. I can show you that much. So that will be there in this course. Uh, that's about the visualization. And one important feature I mean we'll be talking about is the latest AI features, AI visualizations in the Power BI. I think it has been there since a long time, but now it's a little bit of after the AI revolution. I think it has become a little bit more interesting. So we'll see all of these anomaly detection, smart narratives. I like personally like decomposition tree a lot. So and key influencer is a very important let's say very let's say interesting thing. I'll just show you all of this in my. I just created a
Hello.
dashboard for you to view. So I will show
Hello.
all of these things. Uh, so
Hello.
so these things I'll be covering in a little bit of, let's say, a few sessions. AI features we'll be covering on that. So just to give a quick insight about what we talked about. So here's a dashboard that I have created. Can you see my screen, everyone? I hope.
Yes, Siddharth.
So yeah, so this is a basic, let's say, Microsoft provided data that I am using here. So AdventureWorks is a very important. You might have heard even about AdventureWorks, because that's a very commonly most people might have heard about this AdventureWorks data that has been provided by Microsoft. So it's there in Git of Microsoft. We'll be seeing how to get this data and other things. So in this dashboard, I think you can see most of the things that are interactive. So how to create these interactions and all, how these values are created. Uh, so all these things we'll be seeing in a little bit of a detail, right? So if you can see these functionality, right? Such buttons and all, how we'll be creating. So there are multiple dashboards. There are geographical location based data, how we can geospatial data, how we can show it in Power BI, how we can make it interactive. All those things we'll be seeing in a little bit of a detail, right? And also obviously all of these tabs are interactive and you can work. I have put this in a shared drive, so I'll be sharing it with you guys in future, just for reference when you will be building this dashboard also once more, so that this is how we'll be learning the course overall. So we'll be building a brand new dashboard like this one. So if in the meantime if you face some problem, I'll be sharing this dashboard with you guys, right? So there are basically some very, let's say, interesting features like custom tooltips. So for example, I create this, and if I go here, I can use this as tooltips. So such things we can do. How we can do those things. Those things we can see. And as I mentioned, say, there are decomposition trees. So this is like very, let's say, uh, easy to identify what data we are seeing. What, for example, which data I am interested in. Let's say here in this case, I think it's the revenue. So depending on the categories and hierarchies, it's very easy to let's say understand and go through the data. So decomposition tree is an AI based feature. So we'll be seeing those things as well. And key influencers is also an AI based field. basically visualization. So we'll be seeing how to create uh, let's say market segments based on, let's say, the user who is using this application. For example, in this, I think it's a bicycle sale kind of an let's say application. So company. So how, let's say, each domain uh, of each category of customer here in this case is important to the business. So such things are created with AI by just providing it some measures and columns. That's it. So it's very easy. Just but creating those columns and measure takes a little bit of a transformation and important, let's say, changes. So we'll be seeing all those things in detail. So this is the dashboard I have created. We'll be seeing a little bit in more detail. Just to give you a heads up of, let's say, what I was talking about the flow, data flow that happens. So once I start getting the data, for example, there are multiple data sources. We'll be seeing all those data sources. The data is then picked into the Power Query editor. So we'll be seeing that as well. So let's say transformation of data also happens here. So all the let's say all basic transformations we'll be seeing in detail. So this Power Query editor is the one who makes that happen. When you import the data and all those things, we'll be seeing how those basic transformations happen. Once that is done, we'll be creating the model view, as you can see. So such model, how we create the connections between the tables and how sale fact data are connected together, master and fact data connections, how let's say the keys are set for each of these tables, and all of these things we'll be seeing in much detail. Also, there are multiple layouts also, so we'll be seeing all those things in detail. Then comes the important part. Once the model is made, we'll be working with most of the DAX formulas and other things. So for example, we'll be creating multiple measures that help you overall. So all these DAX formulas will be writing. So such things we'll be covering overall in this um, dashboard. Okay. Then we'll see about the publish feature, the Power BI surveys, and a little bit about that. Then a little bit about how we can use those dashboards to create presentations. In maybe presentation is a very good important feature that Power BI can use. So how we can use presentation view in PowerPoint. So that we'll be seeing how that is possible. All those things we'll be seeing. And coming to the last part of the course, we'll be seeing a little bit about uh, a use case in Azure Synapse data reporting. So we'll be having a use case where we'll be having an on-premise system, I would say, on-premise system that a data system, database basically. We'll be getting that data into based, Azure cloud based applications. We'll be getting transforming that data with multiple different transformations. So we'll be seeing a little bit of a basic Azure. We'll be creating a free, let's say, demo user. So for this, so we will not be charged anyway. Anyhow, you have a, for any new user, Microsoft Azure gives you a $200 credit for 1 month, so you can use it and create all the applications and resource groups that are required. So we'll be seeing how all those things are done. So we'll be seeing how to create uh, how to install and configure multiple applications that are required to ingest the data. And let's say data factory is the one who gives us the opportunity to, let's say, transform, get the data from on-premise system to the online storage, I would say, that is the data lake. So we'll be covering how to get transform that data in data lake from with the use of Databricks, and we'll be covering all those things. Once the data is transformed, we'll get it into the Synapse, Azure Synapse workflow, basically the environment. So that we'll be seeing in a little bit of a detail as well. But just a heads up, I will not be covering the whole all of these applications in detail, because that will obviously, if I start covering one one of these, it will take another course of mine. So I'll be covering how to get that on-premise data into the cloud system, make that cloud system data into useful connectable uh, system in Azure Synapse, and use that Synapse database, connect to our Power BI, and make visualizations with that. So that we can see how that happens. So that is the last part of the course that we'll be covering. So overall, I think this is what we'll be covering in this course. I think most of the things which I am going to take is covered. So let's say let's maybe spend some time for questions, if anything, with whatever I have covered till now. So let's hear about some questions. If anyone has some questions. Yeah, Manoj.
Yeah, hi Siddharth.
Hi, Manoj.
So based on this one trading which you have told now, so does it help me on, for example, let's say I have some data on my Excel or something, or it could be a day-to-day volume which me or my team will work on. So
Yeah.
this training will help me to pick that data and which will help me to understand the visualization way from the Power BI. So I'm going to learn that.
So basically, can you give me just about where this data is? Let's say how we are
Mm,
storing.
let's assume some of the any customer relation tool, like it could be like Salesforce or SAP or some any basic tool,
Yeah.
which can I export the data to the BI and get it as a visualization. Is that true, or it could be like, is it a different one?
So for a specific use case, I think we won't be covering in detail, as I think. But still, I think as
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned your use case, I think we'll be covering it a little bit while we work on it, because the different data sources that we are going to cover, I think it might be helpful to you once you do that. I think we will be
Okay.
seeing real time data being pumped into visualizations, and yeah, such things will you will be
So
seeing.
yeah, so I do have one more doubt here. So um, I'm in operations right now, so I do use a BI only for the reporting purpose as a day-to-day activity. So let's assume I'll just pick the data which are required for my work purpose from the BI tool, from the Microsoft only for most of the organization. But when it comes to Salesforce, it will be different. In the same way, how about the BI? So who and all having a Microsoft account for the Power BI, it will be having the same interface for the visualization or the like basic
Yeah,
settings or all
interface
those
wise,
stuff, or it
I
will be
think
different.
most of the things will be same. Interface wise, I think there will
Oh,
be change in Power BI
mhm,
Desktop. Let me make it clear. So
mhm,
Power
yep,
BI
yep,
Desktop is a free tool provided by Microsoft Power BI.
mhm,
I mean Microsoft. So
mhm,
you can use it, make the visualization, get the data, make the
mhm,
visualization. But once you
mhm,
want to share it, publish it to the world with some website or some online
mhm,
sources, then you
mhm.
might share an paid, let's say,
Okay. Mhm.
version
Yeah,
of that.
got it, got it. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I can see one more hand. I think that's Manoj still. Any other questions? I think I would like to take before just I was planning to show a little bit about Power BI interface. If let's see if there are some questions more I can answer. Can take 10 more minutes.
Hi, Siddharth. This is Sabri.
Hi, Shabri.
Hi. I have one question. After each and every session, for whatever topics you are covering, will you be giving us sample assignments in the sense sample assignments regarding the same topics?
Yes, yes. Actually, this course, when I start, for example, getting the data, transforming the data, this transforming, I need not do all of these things in on screen, right? So I'll be doing half of it, and I'll be giving you half of them as assignments. So it will be useful that way. We'll be discussing those assignments in the course later. So such things will
Okay.
keep on happening. Yeah, yeah, that is
Okay.
there.
So once all the topics are covered and the course gets over, will we be having some pilot assignments?
One capstone project is there. I'm looking into it. Yeah, I think I can arrange one capstone project for you. Yes, that is there.
Okay, yeah, great. Thank you.
So yeah, this let's say basic. I think already most of the courses offer. I think we are obviously offering it. So let's say basic assignments and courses to no, some course materials if you are required, some additional materials to, for example, there are some specific cases who have some specific cases for individual users. So those cases, some additional resources are required. Maybe those resources can be arranged in such things. Yeah, that is we can obviously, because this anyway going to be a learning opportunity for everyone, right? That's good.
So basically, if we have an Excel file, so from that also we can derive some graphs and dashboards, and which will, I mean, like we can develop some reports and all, which will give more insights into the business like it will drive the business decisions. What do you think, Siddharth? So
Yes,
from
yes,
this
yes,
course.
yes. So, for example, whatever data that I showed you, the AdventureWorks dashboard that I showed you, uh, was based on multiple sources with Excel and CSV files. So, uh, basically, Excel and CSV, I would say, is the most basic form of data. So, that is required anyway. That for learning purpose, anyway, Excel is good as a data source. So, we'll be seeing how to transform that data into meaningful, insightful, let's say, measures and calculated columns with DAX and other things. We'll be converting this data into meaningful visualizations in Power BI.
Do we have any AI also
Yes,
in
yes,
this?
yes. Yeah, as I mentioned, AI visualizations will be covering in I think 2 hours. I think 2 day or 3 day session. We'll be
Okay.
covering all those
Yeah,
decompositing.
that would be really useful.
Yeah.
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 And
Any
for the Azure, like the Databricks and all, we will be able to do the hands-on, like you'll be providing any demo setup.
Yes, yes. So again, I'll just share my screen just to show what I have created and just to give a high level overview of what has happened. So we'll be getting the data from an on-premise system. So I have a database. I'll just show you that once. A minute. So it's an SQL Server data that we'll be importing into the Azure cloud. Um,
So all this we will also be able to do, right?
yes, yes. So yeah. So
Okay.
for example, this data, it's open. Anyway, when I get that data, it will be uploaded into a data lake storage. So this storage is what we'll be using to store the, let's say, data that has been that was in the, for example, in this case, it is in my laptop basically. So I'll be, let's say, connecting this database. So multiple tables and other things. This is also a sample data, so you can download it from Git sources of Microsoft. So you can download it. We can then upload these things with multiple transformations and other things into the lake storage. The transformations we do using Data Factory. Different. We'll create multiple pipelines such as this. Just show you that. We'll create pipelines such as this to get the data and transform the data from, let's say, basic transformations to high level transformations we'll do, and that data will be stored in our data lake, as I mentioned before. That data lake uh, the data that has been stored in data lake will be used to connect. It can be either through multiple, let's say, there are two ways to connect data Azure Synapse to data, other data. For example, there is one way is to connect directly, getting the data into Azure Synapse. That is one way, and the other way is to get the structure into Azure Synapse and get the data from the data source itself.
So
So such
basically, all this we can do without any scripting knowledge, right? Or any coding is required.
a very basic coding is required for this part of the course alone. Very good, very basic. But anyway, most of the codes are like provided. It's Python based code, so most of the codes are I'll be providing it to you. So you need
Okay.
not
So
worry about.
only for this the Azure Data Lake and all, we'll have a small.
Yeah. Basically, the data bricks part to transform the data, right? So some transformation logic needs to be applied. That might be different for different data, right? So that requires a little bit of a custom coding. So that
Okay.
we'll be seeing a little. It's a very less amount of coding, I would say, and I'll be helping you through that. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Siddharth. That helps. Thank you.
sure. So, any other questions for this session? You can ask any question related to the course or what I'll be learning. If I'll be learning something, you can ask all of these questions, so that if already I have not included something, maybe I'll get something from your question, and probably if I can add it, I'll add to the course. Sure.
Okay, could you please help us understand what is Databricks all about?
So I'll give you a high level idea of what Databricks is. So basically, the on-premise system which I had showed you just now. Did I show you that? Okay, I didn't show you, right? Sorry, my bad. I had only shared one screen. Just a moment. Right. So can you see the SQL work? I mean,
Yeah.
MySQL, MS SQL
Mhm.
server. Yeah. So this data is what we are going to work with in the Azure data factory, right? So for example, I am going to get this data onto the data lake, right? I need to get it to data lake. Data lake is the storage space. You can understand it that way.
Mhm.
So when I get this data into data lake, there are some, uh, let's say, basic table related parameters that will not work in cloud, that as it works in on-premise, such as, for example, in this table, a normal table, we have multiple columns, and the data is stored in form of multiple data types, right?
Mhm.
Such data types and formats will not work in cloud, may not work in cloud. So you have to create a different type of data, let's say, for example, like a Parquet source or a Delta source of data. So such transformations from on-premise data which is not compatible to compatible happens with Azure Databricks, right? So
Mhm.
that transformation, that we do using, generally using some pipelines that we create, because pipelines are easy to work with. We can always run it. We can schedule it. If some new data comes, it all by itself transforms that data and loads it into the data lake storage. Right. So such transformations happen with Azure Data Factory. We'll be seeing it a little bit in detail how these transformations happen. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, you
Yeah.
showed that one diagram, right, earlier. That's the one.
The pipeline, you mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
you want me to show it again? We'll
Yeah,
be
yeah, I
seeing it
saw it.
in detail again. I'll just, those pipelines are the one that create the transformation.
Means the files that are moved to storage will be get transformed using the pipelines.
Yes. So we'll basically start with a resource group. I'll just give you a high level overview of what happens here. So we'll
Mhm.
create a resource group. We'll first create a online, let's say, account that we can use, because we should be very careful if you don't want to spend money on this. So some basic level configuration will be seen. We're creating some resource groups after that. In the resource groups, we'll be creating all these applications which are required for this process to happen. So in this, the first step is the data factory. So basically that data getting that data and putting it into lake storage. That is the first step that happens. In the lake storage, we we have to get that data from lake storage, and in the lake storage itself, we do some column level transformations. So data factory is basically like making that data compatible for cloud. Okay, that lake storage account itself, we do some transformations into the data itself. That happens using Databricks. Is that understandable?
No, no. Can you please come again?
So for example, as I mentioned, you understood what is data factory, like what is the use of data factory in an overview. So you
Yeah.
get that data from on-premise, make it compatible for cloud, right?
Okay.
Once that data is available in the lake storage, we can create multiple other containers which transform this available data into more useful. Like for example, the transformations we do in Power BI, right? Using DAX and other things, right? Such transformations we do. Such transformations are done using Databricks. That data, what is there? Data transformations happen using Databricks. Databricks is basically a more, let's say, general tool for multiple applications. Here we use it for transforming the data.
Okay. Yeah, basically, Databricks is a service which will transform the data from one uh, input to the output.
Yes, correct. I can say that, yes, correct. And Databricks is the one who transforms the data itself to some meaningful data that we want.
Means we have to write some transformation rules, right?
Yes. So those transformation rules is the one that I mentioned earlier. It will require mild coding, little bit. We'll be using Python for that. That's why Python, it's known, it's very easy to write the code. So we'll be using that in Databricks. We'll be using
Okay.
a
If
computer.
we have a null data, just work on the
Yeah,
Python
yeah,
scripts to
yeah.
do it.
Those kind of transformations happen. We can do in
And
Databricks.
means why they want to do Python in this pipeline instead of transforming simple queries itself. We can use the queries to do it, right?
Yes, that is obviously that part. That's a very good question. You can directly transform this data once it is available in lake storage in Power BI itself. That is there, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So this part of Databricks I am covering to show you how you can transform the data in cloud itself. Because there are some scenarios that Power BI gets the data, and some transformations cannot happen in Power BI. Those transformations need to be done before the data comes into Power BI.
Okay, means there are some limitations in the Power BI cannot do the transformations that is possible in the Databricks.
I will not say it's not possible. It will be
Mm-hmm.
easier to do in cloud itself because we might require that data to be transformed for other visualization tools as well. For example, if Power BI one system, one business is using, but the same
Mm-hmm.
data is being used by some other system, let's say like Tableau or SAC, that transformation has to be made 3 times, right? Understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if I keep the data already transformed in the cloud, I can directly use it. So those
Okay.
transformations, how we can do, I just want to show you using the Databricks session that we are going to cover.
Okay.
I hope
Means
you
it is
understood
like
this.
kind of kind of an specific data sets only be used, or it's like kind of general we can use.
You can use general. Here in this case, I have used a specific, I have built a custom built use case here
Okay.
in this for you to understand because nowadays, no, BI has evolved from basic on-premise systems to cloud systems, as you all know. So cloud system knowledge into BI is very much important nowadays. So since we are learning Power BI, I thought Azure will be a very good candidate to learn that. So in
Mm-hmm.
Azure, I found a way to understand, get understand these applications which are required to do the ETL process of that data. And
So basically, so what you meant is like since the Power BI is also a Microsoft tool, Azure is more like it's better compatible. Is it linked
yeah,
to the?
yeah, that is obviously because most of the Azure related connectors are available in Microsoft BI. Some of them might not be available in other applications that visualize data.
Yeah.
Then Databricks is like kind of an ETL tool.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I could say basically Databricks is the platform used for that. So there are some compute that is required in
Mm-hmm.
Databricks.
Yeah, yeah.
There is some storage as well, but that system overall is governed by Databricks, I would say. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see this in detail as we
So,
go
so
through.
as per my understanding, what I feel, JP, like Databricks is more sort of a data science or a data management tool, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Correct me, Siddharth, if I'm wrong. And ETL is more sort of moving the data, right? Transforming it.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes. And so transformation happens in data transformation here. In this case, specifically, I am doing using Databricks. Databricks can handle many other things. It can be used for multiple other applications also. But in this case, just to be specific, I am saying, in this case, I am using Databricks to transform the data that we have collected in Lake Storage into the data that I require for visualization.
yeah.
Yeah, I hope that makes it clear,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope. Sorry, who asked the question? I didn't
Yeah, yeah.
catch it.
That should be fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with this,
So
do we have a good I mean like we will get some good idea on to how we can use the data to derive some good insights, like more sort of a data analytics point of view.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. That is it, obviously because Power BI, as you know, is anyway a BI tool, BI visualization tool to be specific. So most important part of this that we should not forget is that we can use this visualizations in multiple places that we use in our day-to-day life. So it can be there are multiple sources such as web applications. If somebody is running a website and that website you can show the Power BI dashboard, whichever data that you prefer. Then there are sources. There are some other use where you can show this thing into the PPT reports, as I showed you before. How we can use PowerPoint presentations, the dashboards, obviously. So and also there is a Power BI mobile application as well. So there are some responsive sections as well that we'll be covering in this course, which will help you to optimize that Power BI dashboard for clear visuals and other things in the mobile application. So, but for
Yeah.
that, I think the Power BI service, you know, this is required. Your Power BI service is required. You'll require either a work related account or a Power BI Pro licensed account. So that will be not covering in detail anyway, since that creation of that is not very easy. So yeah, we'll be seeing those things. So creating those let's say good visualizations, we'll be seeing
Yeah.
how.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think time for today is done, most of it. So I can take some, maybe one or two questions more. Yeah, I think I cannot cover the basic installation and interface today. Any other questions or anything we can get? Anyone?
We are good.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone? I think hope most of the parts about the course is good, right? I hope there is no other questions regarding the course. How any questions about the course? You can, I think, you can connect with Anita or Lakshmi, I think. You can connect with them, get some details about the course that is going to happen. If you have any doubts, obviously, course related questions you can let's say get obviously from me. You can connect with me. I'm there in the group that we have created. So I hope there are no other questions you need to ask directly. Uh,
When is the start date of the course?
so the course I think officially starts tomorrow. So
Okay.
we'll be kicking off with the Power BI installation and other things. Basic. We'll be starting the course tomorrow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it is like altogether 20 plus hours or how many?
So I will say it will cover up at most 30 hours.
30
It
hours.
it can go up to 30 hours from 25 to 30 hours, I would say, depending
Oh,
on how our pace is. And
okay. And per day
like,
it is like what, like 1 hour or 1.5 hour?
so generally I cover the course from 9 to 10. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say grace period. So all people are, let's say, after dinner, and not a lot of people are in work. So I thought 9 to 10 is a very good time for everyone. So that is the time I generally take from Mondays to Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Saturday we don't have, right? Monday to Friday.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday we generally don't keep. I generally prefer to, let's say, not engage
Yeah.
people on Saturdays and Sundays. But still, if we feel that Saturday is required, maybe someday, one day, we can continue. Maybe we can do it's if it's necessary. Sundays are free, obviously. I hope. I think I have answered most of the questions. Did I miss anything? I hope. Okay, we can connect again tomorrow.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, sorry, I think my internet connection went off in between. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. We'll discuss in detail tomorrow a little bit. We'll start basic Power BI installation and configuration tomorrow. We'll see how all those things work. And any other questions we can take it tomorrow, right? So thank you everyone for joining. Let's meet you tomorrow, same time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.